Hey everybody, Mike Toy Bonsai Boise. This is a little Tigerbark Ficus. It started as a cutting about 2 years ago, and today I'm going to put it into a bonsai pot. Still pretty small, but let me show you where it came from. So this is one of my main Tigerbark Ficuses back in March of 23, and it had this one kind of goofy branch down at the bottom right. I've made a lot of big cuts on this. I couldn't figure out what to do with that branch in particular, so I did the noble thing and I just hacked it off. There it is. And that's the origin of this cutting. Fast forward about a year, January of 2024, and it rooted. Didn't really get any footage in between that time because, it was just a cutting. Didn't know what was going to happen with it yet. But it finally caught my eye and I thought, okay, let's see if we can do something with this. Let's get it on its way to looking cool if we can. So I slip potted it into a slightly bigger training pot and I put some wire on it just to give it some movement and some personality. Not sure what I was going for at that time. Probably didn't have much of a plan because, cuttings, sometimes I just experiment and try different things. And so I think I just kind of wrapped some wire on it and twisted it and bent it all around and called it good for that day. Fast forward to September of 24, toward the end of summer, and you can see I've taken the wire off at some point during the summer, but it's taken on some personality and it's starting to look like a, miniature little tree a little bit. And fast forward to now, I think it's got good potential. I think structurally speaking, it looks good. There's no huge corrections that need to be made, at least I don't think yet. And since it's probably going to make it in the long run, I figured I'd put it in a little bonsai pot just so it's a little bit more aesthetically pleasing to look at. I know there's a lot of opinions out there on when you should do this, and I've got my own. And sometimes I wait a long time before potting them into a bonsai pot, and sometimes I don't. Lately I've been on a kick where I really don't. Yes, they'll maybe develop a little faster in a deeper training pot, but you still got to look at it all the time. May as well like what you're looking at. And I gotta say, I've got a lot of trees, a lot of starter trees in particular, and the ones I put in a bonsai pot versus the ones I don't, it's not a huge difference. So for now, I'm just sort of nipping away at this one just to kind of get it down to shape. Any branches that have multiple leaves, I'll take it down to about 2. I try to make sure that I take it down to a leaf that is facing the direction that I want that branch to grow. Kind of doing the clip and grow style there. The one thing I'm not quite sure about yet is that left branch. So you've got the main trunk that goes up and then it kind of curves to the right. And then you've got one main branch on the right and one main branch on the left. It's the one on the left that I'm not so sure about. It looks okay. I'm not ultra worried, but there's something about it. It's kind of straight, I think is what it is. It just shoots out straight to the left. Well, the right in this backwards view, but there's a better view. So you see how branch just kind of goes straight out to the left. No movement at all. I think that's what's bugging me about it. But for now, it kind of blends, not blends, but works with the one on the right. Look at it. Another long straight branch. Typically I get rid of those so that the new branch that will sprout from the cut point will grow in a slightly different direction. So that's how you get movement in your branching. So this is the pot I'm going to go with. I got a few of these a month or so ago. They're metal. I haven't used metal pots yet, so I'm kind of curious how this is going to go. But I thought it'd make a perfect fit with this little tree. Here's my soil mix as of late. A little bit of pine bark, some volcanic rock, some perlite, some pumice, and a little bit of academia. So I get all the old soil off of the roots. And real quick, while I'm doing that, let me show you something else I'm working on the side. Just a quick little cutout here. I had a bunch of Tigerbark Ficus cuttings going on their second or third year. And I decided to bunch them all together and do a fusion with them. Got a couple of these. This is just one. And this is just a quick peek at it. I just did this recently, so nothing much to show on it yet. But more to come on this one and its other one soon. Got big hopes for this guy. Now back to the tree at hand. I just do some light trimming on the roots, nothing major. Roots that are growing straight up or straight down or crisscrossing or just look goofy and out of place, I get rid of those. And then I found this smooth looking rock and I try to place it kind of strategically right under the trunk there. Not so that I can do a root over rock, but just to make it so that the roots grow outward instead of straight down. Because eventually, if all goes well, I'll end up repotting this tree into a different type of pot. It's kind of tricky. As I was doing this, it kept wanting to slide off of that rock. So at one point I had to actually just scooch it back up there a little bit. So I got it all planted in there and potted up. So far, it all went well. But there's something about it that's still kind of bugging me. These are little stability rocks, by the way. That'll kind of help hold it in place. And typically I wouldn't do this kind of thing this time of year. However, I've got a grow tent with really good conditions, so I can sort of get away with it. It's December right now, so I wouldn't recommend doing this in December otherwise. So it looks okay, but it's that left branch again that's kind of bugging me. I would prefer it to be more of a rounded canopy, you know, like a, I don't know, just a round shape. So I'm looking for opportunities. I'm kind of digging in there, and it's hard to see because it's really dense, but I'm digging in there and I'm looking for ways to bring the height down on that left side. But finally, I get it to a spot where I think I'm okay with it. And it looks pretty good, I think. And that little white metal pot. Then I slept on it. And here we are today, and I realize I'm not happy with it. That left side is just, it's too high compared to the right side and too straight. So I decided to get a little bit drastic, and I take those branches way down to try and bring it more in line. So I do. And now I like it even worse. So not trying to be dramatic here. I'm just trying to get it to a point where I'm happy with it, not just today, but also going forward. And what I'm afraid of is that long straight branch on the left is never going to fix itself unless it were to back bud, and then I take it all the way down to the back bud. So I kind of ponder it for a few minutes, get a little more drastic with it there. It looks a little bit better. That might work in the long run. Kind of looks a little weird now. So I ask myself, can I live with this? Should I live with this? Why would I live with this? Is it better or worse in the long run? Truth is, it's worse. So I take it off completely. Might make a nice little cutting someday. Yes, the tree looks smaller now, for sure, but it will fill back out. If you remember what it looked like as a new little cutting in January of 24, it looked much worse than this. And within 1 year, it got to this point. But now, I think this is a structure that I can live with. And it's a structure that I can work with too. I'm not going to be constantly fighting that awkward straight left side. The right side's got cool movement. And we can just develop it from there. That, by the way, is just clear, non-toxic, regular glue. Kind of stuff you would buy for school supplies. It's been working great. Couple last nips on the back side here. It's easy to get carried away, at least for me. I can start taking little nibbles at it, and next thing you know, I'm chopping half of it off like I just did. So I gotta be careful of that. Here's a closer look at it. It's got decent taper. For being a 2-year-old cutting, it's set up pretty good. Structure looks good. The taper looks good. The movement looks good. I like it. I think I'm finally happy with it like this. So that's my little Tigerbark Ficus cutting to bonsai. Let me know any opinions you've got or comments. Love a good discussion. And thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good rest of your day.